I'm at the rear end of the house. If you can show us briefly how where we are standing. That is the door there, the small light opening you're seeing at that end. But now I'm at the rear end. This is where we have the main fans. Here, in a normal day, when the system has detected that there is a lot of humidity or a lot of ammonia in the system, this system opens up and we have fans that sucks in or sucks out air from that end. At the tail end or at the door, I'll show you where we have a small opening where clean air comes in through, and then this is where it leaves from. At this opening, this is the only opening that we have around. The manila or the material on that other side goes up and clean air flows in. And now the suction fans that I had told you about pulls the air towards that end. Dear poultry farmers, let us have some small conversation, a conversation around biosecurity. I know it's a cliche word, but it carries more details than most of us think of it. I know there is a word we have abused over time, the word fumigation. What do we do after we have harvested our flocks? We do fumigation, right? Yeah, we do it. But do we do it in the required ways and in the set procedures so that we can achieve healthy and clean copes or houses for poultry? I know most of us have footbaths, and I know that is where our biosecurity ends. And on the fumigation, I know we are not doing it right, or we are doing it right, but I would like us to do some revision on it. So with today, I'm at a poultry farm. They are doing some good number of broilers, around 40,000 to 50,000 in one batch. And we came in here today to help them in doing disinfection. So take a ride with me as I show you what it entails to do proper disinfection. So we start here. We start here on manual removal of good. As we have seen, there is more that goes into biosecurity than what we do. Biosecurity, in a nutshell, is the use of biological methods to try and curb or control disease entry into our farms. One, I know most of us have footbaths and wheelbaths, but great improvement needs to be done in the actual poultry houses and how we transact that business. As you can see, today I'm in a 40,000 broiler farm, fully automated. Their system is not like the normal systems we have around. If you can see, on the both of the walls, we have AC systems that control inflow and outflow of air. On this side, we have fans, and the far end at the entry of the poultry house, that is where we have just some slight openings. This ensures that the environment in here is fully controlled. There is little to no entry of any diseases from the outside to the birds in here. The flock is already out. They practice what we say or what we advocate for, all in, all out systems, whereby you sell all the birds so that you can have enough time to fumigate your poultry house. How we do the fumigation? Najua hapa wengi ndio tunapotea. We do the fumigation in these simple ways. Immediately after removing the birds or after selling the birds, we do pest and rodents control. That is when we come in with rodenticides to control the rodents, and also before the pests, the things like fleas, the crawling insects, before they get into hibernation, when the rooms are still warm, we do fumigation or sprays with registered and accredited insecticides. Then after that, the staff fall in. They come in to remove, as you can see in the poultry house, we do not have any litter. They removed all the litter. After that removal of the litter, we come in to do the first line of disinfection. We move in with, we first of all dust. And the way we dust is, we start from the top, going to the bottom, and then to the floor, and removing all the dirt. That is, you can use brushes, unaweza tumia vifagio, you can use vacuum cleaners in such a system, so that you remove all the dirt. After that, we come in with the second line of cleaning. We use detergents and somewhat warm water around 65 or 60 to 65 degrees Celsius. This water helps in one, we peel off any litter that might have remained when we were doing the dusting. We spray at very high pressure with at pressures of 200 to 300 psi's. When we do that spray, we peel off any dirt or any litter that might have been left behind. The type of detergent we use will be informed by what type of litter we have. For any organic matter, we use alkaline detergents. They help in peeling off the held or the stubborn or the sticky organic matters. That is the fats and the proteins. Then there are other scales that come up because of the mineral residues. For those ones, we use acids or acid-based detergents. After that, after doing now the first washing with detergents and warm water, and I've said the process is, or the protocol is, you wash from the top as you move to the sides, bottomwards. Then you will clean from the end of the house towards the front or towards the door. After doing that, we allow some room for cleaning of the detergents. So we use a lot of clean water. The clean water is meant to remove or to wash away any residues of the detergents that might have been left behind. Then we follow the same procedure from the top to the bottom, then to the outside. After doing that, now we do the actual wet cleaning, what most of us call fumigation. But you have seen what procedures we have used or what we have done before getting to the actual fumigation. So in this stage, we use low pressure and foamy detergents or foamy disinfectants. They must be, we use for dry surfaces like the roof in such a system, or the walls in the systems that we have, we use mostly quaternary ammoniums, the chlorines, to clean the surfaces. The benchmark is we want to attain a clean environment. But wewe mkulima, niambie, what is clean? Or how will you know that your house has been cleaned to satisfactory levels? After now, the disinfection with the quaternary ammoniums and the disinfectants of choice, depending on the microorganisms that you are targeting. Mostly in Kenyan systems, we target salmonella reduction and E. coli, also molds and yeasts. So we do swabs at the walls, at least 2 to 3 swabs in a poultry house. What we want to get is total viable counts of the microorganisms that will grow in a culture. We want them For the walls and the dry surfaces, we want them to be below 100 TVC, or total viable counts, per centimeter squared. That is to say, we have very little number of microorganisms that are left into the poultry house. The other bit is, after doing that, now for the floors, I would like us to see how the floor is and how the consistency is of the floor. But on the floor, what we mostly find is cracks, crevices, porous surfaces. That is where most of the coccidia, that is where most of the bacteria, that is where most of the viruses might reside. So on this, or on such porous grounds, we use other forms of disinfectants. Here, we use the cresols and the phenolic compounds. With phenolic compounds, they penetrate into the cracks, and that is where we find them working very well on coccidia oocysts. That is where we find them working very well on bacteria and viruses. The other thing is, with the floors, remember on the walls we said that we want to achieve below 100 TVC per square centimeter, but on the floor we want to achieve 1,000 total viable counts per square centimeter. This is to say, we have been doing it on our own. At times, we don't know whether the fumigation we have done is actual or accurate, or at times we do not know whether we have met that threshold. So in this farm, we met with a company doing some very good work. They are called Poultry Biosciences. They are doing commercial disinfection in our farms. So with them, you can link up with them. But one thing that brought us here is that they are using our products as Atlantis Life Science for the walls and for the utensils. As you can see them, we use a different disinfectant. We said the use of quaternary ammonium. And with us, we have Biosec. Biosec has a blend of 7 disinfecting compounds. So it works very well for that work of the walls and the utensils. That is the feeders and the drinkers. Then for the floor, we have Finosol. Finosol is a phenolic compound. It works very well against mycoplasmas. It acts very well against salmonella, fowlpox, call them E. coli, yeasts, molds. It works very well on them. And most importantly, and this goes with layers farmers and kienyeji improved farmers, you'll find after the first harvest of the first culling of the X layers or the old birds, when you introduce a new flock, we find issues with coccidiosis. And the surest shot is the use of the phenolic compounds or the floors, because it acts on the coccidiosis. The coccidiosis have the ability, as you can see on these cracks, this is a crack on the house. The coccidiosis can penetrate to a feet or a feet and a half down in the earth. So we need a compound that can actually penetrate to such levels and can stay viable in the presence of organic materials. So with us, this is what entails disinfection. Now after that, we allow the rooms to stay, we dry, of course we have to dry the rooms. We have to wash away the excess waters and to allow the room to dry. After the drying up, then we come in with, we allow our birds to, we start preparing for the introduction of the birds. We come in now with a clean litter. You might find your litter from rice husks. You might find them from wood shavings and all that. Now you introduce them, and after introduction of that, now we come with the final spray with a disinfectant that will be friendly to the birds and also be lethal to the disease-causing microorganisms. That is when we say we have done full fumigation of our birds. I know wengi we have a problem. Because of this, we do partial or very light cleaning of our poultry houses. Then we say that we have done fumigation. You find we do only the dry matter removal and the first line that I called the first washing, whereby you wash with a lot of soap. After washing with soap, that business ends there, and you say the room is clean, but the room is not clean until we achieve on the walls or on dry surfaces, we get below 100 total viable counts, and with the floors, we achieve less than 1,000 TVC or total viable counts per square centimeter. Now, after doing all that, in such a system, you can see we have the utensils, we have the lines where this is where they feed the animals from. In this system, they are using only 2 personnel to manage a whole 40,000 head of broiler chicken. In our last line of disinfection, we come in to clean the water lines and the water systems, because that is the other area whereby microorganisms or disease-causing pathogens might enter the farm through. So we come in to flush these drainage lines with hydrogen peroxides or oxidizing agents. Palmitic acid has also worked very well. The flushing agent must not be corrosive to plastic and also to metal. Reason being, as you can see, these tips, they are metallic, and if you use any corrosive or scaling compound, then we will have trouble with the drinking lines. Also, we do not want to corrode these plastics. We do not want to have substances that are staining on the plastics. That is the other line that we check. Then the water system from the tank, we have to have it very clean. Then from there, the other biosecurity measure we take, we all know that we have footbaths. What do we use in the footbaths? We have to use a product that will stay viable or efficacious even in the presence of organic matter. See, the farm herds will enter into the farm, and as they walk out, see watakuwa wamekanyanga matope, udongo, samadi ya kuku. The compounds that we use at the footbath at the entry of the house must always be very stable or very efficacious even in the presence of such organic matters. With such products, we have Biosec and we have Finosol that works very well. Actually, Finosol can stay viable for 5 months with little topping up of the water at the wheel bath and at the footbath, at the entry of the house. Also have some control rooms whereby visitors and other visiting farmers and also the staff can go in there, change, get into clothes that are well fumigated or well disinfected. They have been cleaned with disinfectants to prevent entry of diseases into our poultry farm. Imagine this whole space holds 40,000 chicks. At maturity, we might get prices of 300 or 350 shillings per kilo of meat, and assume the farmer attains 1.5 for each dressed carcass. What loss do you think if you came in and visited and introduced a disease into the farm? What loss do you think that farmer will incur? You can count on that. So let me take you through this machine, this production machine at this farm. I'm at the rear end of the house. If you can show us briefly how where we are standing. That is the door there, the small light opening you're seeing at that end. But now I'm at the rear end. This is where we have the main fans. Here, in a normal day, when the system has detected that there is a lot of humidity or a lot of ammonia in the system, this system opens up and we have fans that sucks in or sucks out air from that end. At the tail end or at the door, I'll show you where we have a small opening where it clean air comes in through, and then this is where it leaves from. This system is to suck any hot air from the poultry segment. So this is the rear end. These are the fans. You can see how they are. It is 1 square meter by 1 square meter. You see, but we also have this mesh to control any material or any bird being flown through the farms, because the sanction pressure is very high. So we have the mesh to control all that. You can see how many of them we have there. Yeah, that is what is needed to take care of such number of birds. We saw the fans on the inside. Now we are on the outside. This is how this fan looks like before the washing. We're just washing it with soap and clean water. Hivi ndio inakaa kama haijang'arishwa. Let me wash it with a high pressure machine, then tuone namna gani itakaa after tumeng'arisha. Usaidie. Umalizana na hiyo? So we said we start at the top. We start at the top. As we move to the lower side, then we have these fans. These are not actually the main fans, but they are fans also in control of the air around this environment. So we also have fans in our own houses. This is an AC system. As you can see, when the air is too hot, the opening goes open and clean air comes in. From science or from my physics teacher, Mr. Joshua Wahu, whoever he is, God bless him, we know cold air will come in and go down. Then we have the rise of hot air. So through that system, we have clean air that is cold coming in, and then we have the hot air being pulled out through that system. This helps just in helping in the circulation of that air. Then in a normal day, this is not how this house looks like. When we have flocks around here, this is a drain, or this is a drinking line or a water system. This is where the birds now take in water from. You can see the distance from these feeders to these drinkers, how it is. It is just 1 meter squared, and the number of nipples per square meter, we have at least 6 nipples. So this will be descended. Today we are doing disinfection. That is why I told you that we'll have to have all the utensils out. But in this system, because we can't remove all the utensils out, they have been risen up. All the cleaning will be done from this point. So when we have birds, these drinkers will be to this level, so that the young chicks can be able to access water from there. That is where we add our Solvita from. If you want to give any medication, the Vigorex, the Solvita, the Nutriseed, Nutriseed is very, very crucial in such a system, because it's a acidifier. It acidifies the gut of the young birds, so that we do not have proliferation or multiplication of the pathogenic bacteria in the gut. How Nutriseed works? It works in a way that we know most of the beneficial bacteria thrive in pH of around 3.5 to 4 or 4.2, around there. But we have proliferation of pathogenic bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella at around pHs of 5 going to towards neutral. So when we add Nutriseed in our water systems, we drop the pH of the gut. When we drop the pH of the gut, that is to mean we have dropped the pH to favorable environment for the beneficial microorganisms in the gut of the chick. So what we'll see is we'll see that gut being colonized more by the beneficial bacteria and less of the pathogenic bacteria. So we will be raising disease-free herds or disease-free flocks just by the use of naturally occurring acidifiers like what we have in Nutriseed, and that helps in raising of antibiotic or antimicrobial free meat from such systems. So we have seen the drinking line. Then adjacent to it, we have the feeding system. So in a normal day, this is not how it looks like. This system is descended, and these feeders are this way. You can see you can easily clamp them that way. This is where the feeds will drop. So this is a pipe. This is the pipe that brings the feed from the control room to this end. So as we move to the other end, I'll be showing you what innovations we have bit by bit on this innovative work machine. This is a drainage point, because when we are doing disinfection, there has to be some water that will spill in the poultry house. So that is a drainage point. We have several of them. We also have taps. I'll show you one. We also have taps around. The taps are used when we are doing such a routine activity like the disinfection and water is needed. Also, yeah, in instances where water is needed around here, we have the water points at around such places. We're moving now to the rear end, or to the door. Let us see what other biosecurity measure they have at that point. This is also a tap. It's what I was saying about having watering points. You can see there, that is water. Yeah, very clean for the birds. Then here we have an AC system. This is for suction of any air that is has been used, or the hot air. I said the hot air will rise and the cold air will go down. So from that point, we have an AC system. This is used for heating up the room. Then we move. So wale wanatumianga burners, charcoal burners, that is akina jikos, the LPG heating systems. With them, we have that heating system. So with this one, it's a control. This is what controls the opening and closing of these openings. At this opening, this is the only opening that we have around. The manila or the material on that other side goes up, and clean air flows in. And now the suction fans that I had told you about pulls the air towards that end. So we have clean air flowing into the house and moving towards that end. And that is how they maintain a well ventilated, controlled, deep litter production line. So this pipe carries the feeds from the silo outside, and then the feed falls at this point. Then the feed is pushed to every feeder till the end point of that other end. Also, we have the water system. The main water pipe is on top there. Then we have inflow of water here. Then we have that there. And that is how our system is. And that is it for what we had for today. But I would like us to go into practical disinfection. Also, I'd like us to meet one or two of the team members from Poultry. They are doing some great work, and we have come to this farm courtesy of them. And I like to really give them an up of applause to them for the good work that they are doing. Also, to this farmer, he's doing some really great work. I'll show you how the farm will look like when we have chicks around here. With them, they do not have issues with brooding. They do not have issues with the ventilation because their system is all controlled. I'll take you at the control room. That is where they control the humidity, they control the temperatures, they control the air inflow. Also, in case of buildup of ammonia, they also control all that. With that, they are assured of having their production all year in, year out. If you're in need of such a system installed for you, you can also link up with us. We can always generously give you contacts to people who have come up with such systems. As you can see there, as I was telling you, that is where we have the sensors. This is where most of the AI has been used for detection of any changes in the environment of this whole room. That is where we have the fans, the AC system, cleaning of the air, cleaning of the dirt or the dust in the air, so that we have our birds being raised in a very well controlled environment. That is it. That is what I had for today. My name is Joseph Kariuki, working with Atlantis Life Science, na nimefurahi kukutembea hii safari na nyinyi. Be generous and be kind to us, and click the subscription button. Also, for you to enable this message to get to a bigger population or to help someone else, then you can always hit the notification bell so that you get notified once we have a posting. Also share. Be kind and share. Yeah, we are Atlantis Life Science. Also find me on 0741 639 338. 0741 639 338. Also find me on 0724 884 884. 0724 884 884. It's an amazing journey. If you want us to visit your farm or to be there to share in the brilliant innovations you have there, we are always open. You can find us through the numbers that I've shared. Also, we are on TikTok at Atlantis Life Science. Also in Facebook, Atlantis Life Science. Twitter, Atlantis Life Science. And Instagram, Atlantis Life Science. Thank you.